Hey, this is Gardy with Clear Life Media, Clear Life Combat. I have a guest that's zooming in. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We're going to find out everything that they have going on. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, my name's Wolski, and I train Jiu Jitsu at B Team here in Austin, Texas.
All right, so that's where you're at right now in Austin, huh?
Yes.
How did you end up there?
I moved here from Denver, so I started training Jiu Jitsu in Denver in like 2021, and then wanted more competition, more coaching, more training partners. So Austin it was.
Yeah, that's not training that long, and you've had a lot of success. How has that worked out for you? How did that happen?
I just started kind of training for like self-defense purposes, and then I found out you could compete. So I got really into it because of that. Just like the competitive side of it, I really enjoyed it. And then I started training like every single day, multiple times a day. And then, like I said, I wanted a little more, so I asked around and figured out that Austin was kind of the place to be. So moved there. But I'd say like maybe a year after everybody like from the DDS moved here.
Mm-hmm. What's the atmosphere like there for you?
It's awesome. I mean, there's training everywhere, so it's like you can't really go wrong. There's always like good open mats. There's awesome training partners, so yeah, it's great.
And what does it feel like? I guess the culture at B Team, and did you fit in pretty seamlessly?
Sorry, what's that?
The culture like at B Team, and did
Oh
that
yeah.
was that an easy, seamless fit for you?
Yeah. They're super cool there. So I actually trained a couple days, or like maybe a month at Henzo Gracie Austin before I started at B Team. And it was cool there, but they're taking it a lot more seriously, like when they're training under John Danaher. So it was like, cool classes and stuff. I definitely learned a lot. But when I went to B Team, I just liked the vibe a lot more. Everybody's a lot more fun. So I liked hanging out there better.
That seems to be a pretty big jump. Starting jiu-jitsu, in Denver, saying like, "Hey, I'm going to change everything. I want to compete." What was that driving force for you?
I really just loved competing. Yeah, I started out like grappling industries and tap cancer out, smaller things like that. And just, I really, really enjoyed it. But then I started going against people in like the intermediate brackets, and then I'd find like I was having a hard time like figuring out how to beat these people. And I just wanted a little bit more because the gym that I was at was like very hobbyist, and they kind of taught the same thing in like a rotation of like 12 weeks, I think. So it kind of got redundant, and I wanted something that I could like expand my horizons.
Did people from your gym or even your family, I guess, did they question what you were doing, or hey, you're uprooting from Denver, moving to Austin, or what was that? Was there support, or how was that?
Yeah, there was definitely support. People at my gym understood because they could see that like I obviously really loved it and like wanted to grow. And then my family, they were just like, I don't know, I feel like they expected it of me because I've kind of just moved around a lot since I've been like 18, like always going to do something different. And they're just like, all right, she's doing something again. So yeah.
What's your background as far as like athletics? Was there a good sports base for you, or did you grow up doing anything like that?
Yeah. I played like organized team sports since I was like three, I think, like soccer, basketball, hockey, lacrosse. I think those were the main four.
Mm-hmm. Was there one that
Yeah.
you really excelled at, or was your favorite at least?
Yeah, I think I liked lacrosse the best.
Okay. What's
That
it
was
about
fun.
lacrosse? I mean, that seems to be like a physical one. I have no experience with it, but
Yeah, for boys it's more physical because you can like check and stuff. For women you can't check, so it's definitely a lot less physical on that end. I'd say the most physical one I did was hockey, just because you can check a little bit more there. But yeah, lacrosse wasn't. It was a lot more running than anything.
mm-hmm. And there's not a lot of people. Actually, I have a friend who's like my age, and he's in a hockey league. But other than that, like kids, I'm sure that they are around here in Texas, but it's not really that big here. I would assume. I mean, is it pretty big back there in Denver?
Lacrosse,
No, 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 hockey.
hockey. I don't know in Denver, but definitely in Massachusetts. So that's where I grew up was Massachusetts. But yeah, it's pretty big there.
Okay, so Massachusetts, it's pretty big there. But I guess when did you end up moving to Denver? I guess that's what you were
Uh,
saying. You moved around a
yeah,
lot. Yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
moved around a lot. So I was in Massachusetts like until I was 18, and then I moved to Vermont for like 4 years, and then I moved to Denver. I think that was 2020, like mid-pandemic. Moved to Denver, and I lived there for about 2 years.
Yeah. And is that just like work or just like looking for new things?
Yeah,
Just
just looking for new things. So when I moved to Vermont, I ended up coaching snowboarding. That was the other sport I did. Um, and I coached like a competitive freestyle team. And then when the pandemic happened, I was kind of like looking for new work, and I got a job offer at Winter Park in Colorado, and to go coach their competition team. And once I moved there, I ended up living in the city, and then that's how I started jujitsu. And I kind of just quit the snowboard gig and started doing jujitsu.
that's cool. I think the first time that I remember seeing anything that you did, it was some promos, and that's what I'll call it, that you cut. I think for main character jujitsu, and this
Yeah,
was a while back, and I think you had like it was like an in character. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is that accurate?
yeah, like wearing a cowboy hat, probably.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the idea behind that? Is that a character that you do, or are you just like, hey, I'm having fun with it. Let's have fun.
It was just kind of for that one match. Because the whole thing that he does, I don't know if you follow main character, right? Like the whole promotion, their whole idea there is just to like have people, have a good time, wear costumes, like be the main character kind of thing. It's like the whole their whole deal. So I just came up with something easy because we're in Texas, like just Cowboy Alley came up, so I just did that
Yeah,
for the one.
yeah. And I think is that something that I think that people need to do, I guess, to take jiu-jitsu or combat sports even to that next level. I mean, have a good presence online and then even have fun with it and appeal to a larger audience. Would you agree with any of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a definitely a good way to get matches because you can be somebody that's like, not like I'm definitely way less skilled than a lot of other girls out there that could absolutely destroy me, but they don't promote themselves on social media. Like that was actually a big issue when I got on Who's Number One the first time, because I was supposed to go against Helena Cravar like last year. The first time I got on, there's a lot of people on Instagram that were really mad about it because they were like, "Oh, this girl doesn't deserve this opportunity." Like, there's so many other more talented women out there, which is true. There are a bunch of talented women that absolutely deserve the spot, but I think it comes down to like advertising for yourself on social media and like being like advertising something that people want to watch because like I said, there's people that are like super super talented at jiu-jitsu, but then they don't post a single thing on social media, so there's not really like a character or like a person to follow.
Yeah, and a promoter they'll look at that like, hey, is this person, did they appeal to an audience? Do they have a following? Are they not afraid to promote themselves? So no, I agree with
Yeah,
that. Who
definitely brings in like people like tickets and numbers for their show. So
Yeah, recently you competed for combat sports coverage and went against a very talented grappler as well, and it was in a cage. What was it like competing in a cage versus just on an open mat? And then tell me, how did that go for you?
yeah, so I've competed a couple times in the cage, and it's all been super fun. It's definitely different because you get like stuck up against the wall. But I think that makes it a little more fun just because it's like, none of us are used to it unless you're an MMA fighter. So I think it just like brings a new fun little wrench in the game. But yeah, so I went against my opponent, and it was like I knew she was super good, and I know her older sister's super good as well. I've heard a lot of things about their family, just being like everybody before the match was like, "Dude, this girl is so good. Like you got to be careful." And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." So I was a little nervous going into it, and I wanted to wrestle her, just because it was in the cage, so I thought it'd be fun to like do wall wrestling and stuff. But yeah, I basically just like pushed her into the cage, and then she jumped guard, and then I was like bailed immediately because I'm terrified of my knee getting like hyperextended from a guard jump. And then I just entered a Choi bar, which has been like something I've been using a lot lately. Had some difficulty getting to the finish at one point because I got stuck my head on the cage. But then I was able to just, you know, push through and then make her roll over and then finish it that way.
Awesome. And then you
Yeah.
became now you're a champion at CSC, right?
Yeah.
That's very cool. Whenever you started, was that a goal that you have? And I guess, and what are your goals going forward? Just to be, collect titles and belts and trophies?
Yeah, I think so. My more like my goals in the near future, I'd say, are pans. I would like to win pans and worlds. I wanted previously to win them at every belt, but I didn't get to do that at blue belt. So from now on, I would like to do that. I'd like to win trials, and then get to ADCC or like even compete in CJI. But yeah, I just want to keep competing in big events and just keep having fun with it.
Who's somebody that you know would like to compete against here? I mean, even very very like here soon.
I definitely would like a rematch at some point with Jasmine Rosa because I went against her at West Coast Trials. And there was like, I don't know if you saw that match or any of the highlights, but when we were rolling, I was in top half guard, and then she had like kicked me right in the throat, and the ref like said something. He's like, "Watch the kick," and I like looked up at the ref, and then she was like jumping back on my heel, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like if I was like a little more focused or like aware of that happening, then maybe it could have gone a little differently. I don't know, but like I would like a rematch with her for sure.
I think I saw a highlight reel of her just kicking, doing that same move to
Yeah.
multiple opponents, like all trials long.
Yeah, she did it to me, and then she did it to Tammy Musumeci, and then Alex Enriquez, and I believe that was the three, the
Yeah, it
three
was
big kicks.
pretty effective. That was a
Yeah,
very,
I mean it works.
yeah. How did you feel that that match was going before that? Before that moment, how did you match up?
Um, Definitely way more skilled than me for sure. She's been training forever, and her family's amazing. But I was actually surprised with how comfortable I felt. I think that was another problem, is I was like not confident going into it. And then once I was there, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. And then I was like, just not focused because I was kind of thinking about that the whole time. But yeah, I didn't feel super uncomfortable, and I feel like it could be a good match in the future.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier you competed a couple times. You know, grappling in the cage is a transition to MMA something that may be in the future for you.
I previously wanted to do that, but I've since been talked out of it. Sometimes I'll train it just for fun at 10th Planet Austin with some of the girls there, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna compete in it. I do like it a lot, but my striking is awful. I have almost no striking. I've done like maybe 3 weeks of Muay Thai, but yeah, terrible at it. I don't really know if it's in the future, but maybe we'll see.
Yeah, I guess who talked you out of it, or what was it that made you kind of change that mind?
Just like a bunch of people around, like in my surroundings, like I don't know, like different coaches or teammates being like, oh, jiu-jitsu is becoming something where you can make money now, so like why would you get hit in the head, is kind of their rationale, which makes sense, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think for you, I mean, do you crave that competition or that challenge?
Yeah, a little bit. I think like something that I don't like is I don't like not being good at striking. I would like to learn how to do that, just because I think, I don't know, it would just make me feel better about like my own development and like also self-defense wise, I guess. Um, yeah, I think it would be cool to learn. I like really respect people who do striking because I think it's super difficult. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to like tie everything together, and then I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the. I've seen video and some content that you've been putting out. You know, what's your goal with that, and how is that going for you?
Yeah, so I like I said, I've liked doing like video editing stuff since I was in high school or middle school even. Just like on whatever laptop my family had at the time, just like messing around with it. But yeah, I don't remember exactly how it started. I think one of my friends a couple months back asked me to film something for them for like their company. And then another one of my friends like had a camera, and I was like, "Can I borrow it?" Started using it, and then just kind of figured out that I could film people in this industry, like in the combat sports industry, because I know a bunch of people in Austin, jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, MMA, all those different types of combat sports. And then just kind of started going around filming, and then it's just been fun. So I'm like, might as well make it into like a career. So it's just been working out that way.
Yeah, what are you shooting with? What are you using?
Right now, I have two of my friends are actually lending me their cameras. So I have an A7 III and then an A7S2. So the A7S2 is what I started on, and then the A7 III is what I'm using currently. I like that one a lot better. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are both very good cameras.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be surrounded by people in the combat industry and then also in the media industry. So people just have cameras on hand.
Yeah. Ali, is there anything else that you would like to share?
I have another title defense coming up at the end of the month on Enigma TV. It's one of the guys at Henzo Gracie Austin runs the network Christos, and he's running a promotion also called Enigma. So it'll be on the 26th, and I defend my 135 belt.
What are the plans for that?
I kind of gotta see about that still. Right now I wanna wrestle. It's 80cc rule set. So I believe it's a finals match rule set because it's a title defense. So I'm gonna be working some stand up with this girl. I think she's quite a bit bigger than me. So I'm a little worried about that in terms of standing. But yeah, just gonna play my usual game.
Awesome. Thank you so much for making time today. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
This is Gardy with Clear Life Combat. Y'all be blessed.